Hey guys, what's up? I'm back with another video and I have an awesome hair review for you guys. This time I actually made this wig on my own, which I haven't done on camera for you guys before, so this is going to be a first. The hair is by Us-Klaiyi hair. This is what it looks like. You guys, this hair is freaking 30 inches long. I've never worn a wig this long in my entire life. Honestly, it only took me about 3 or 4 hours just to finish making the entire piece. And I did put an elastic band in the back of the hair. And also this hair is a 360 laced wig. And also every other wig that I've made on my own, which you guys have not seen, I have failed in making it. So I've thrown all those wigs away because they're just terrible, they're done. I've used a wig cap in the past or a weaving cap that was netted, and every single time I use it, it ends up tearing, I guess, on the sides. And it's just never enough room for my head. So it might be something that I'm doing wrong, but honestly, like, I can't. But I finally used a dome cap for this one and it worked perfectly well. So I'm gonna definitely be using that from now on. But yes, this is 30 inches of just wavy hair that I'm wearing on my head right now, which is a lot. So we're gonna get into the specs of this after I show you guys how I make the wig. I did film the entire process, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that for the next clip, and stay tuned for the review of this awesome hair. Okay, so now for the tutorial part of this video. I'm starting off with all of these bundles. One is in a 26, a 28, and then also a 30 inch, and they're all body waves and they look amazing. So yeah, let's get started. This is how they all look together. It looks pretty thin, but once you add in the 360 lace frontal, it gets really thick. And I'm using a dome cap this time around. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so here's how the 360 lace frontal is looking. As you can see, there's already a middle part, but they've also put other parts all around the perimeter. I'm now fitting the frontal around the styrofoam head. For my styrofoam head, I usually just put duct tape around it so that everything kind of gets a little bit larger. The styrofoam head is actually too small for my head on its own, so I have to kind of adjust it a little bit. So after you're done sewing around, then you're gonna start with the lace. You're gonna have to sew that down also on the dome cap. I got this technique from Essie Michelle on YouTube, and I'm gonna go ahead and link her channel down below as well as her video, because this helped me so much. I didn't know what to do next and I was panicking, but I got it together and this is what it looks like. To make it easier on myself, I had to go ahead and lay the styrofoam head on its side, and so that way, whatever makes it easier for you guys, just go ahead and do it that way. So earlier I talked about sewing the lace onto the dome cap. This is actually where I started doing that after I had already sewn where the hair stopped. And now it's time to start sewing the wefts on. Here I'm just using a curved needle. This just helps it so that you don't stick yourself accidentally while you're sewing. I still ended up sticking myself at least twice during this whole process, but just be careful as you're doing it. I'm just doing the over and under each weft, and it's just a pretty easy sewing process. There is another way to do it to where it's more secure, but I just found this easier for myself to do. I think it's called the T-shaped sewing method. I could be wrong, but I've done that method before. I just prefer to do it this way. So as you guys just saw, I went ahead and I just stuck a pin on the other side of the weft. This makes it easier so that you don't have to keep on holding the ends while you're trying to sew. It just makes it a lot easier and it holds it in place. Now we're getting close to the finish line with this entire process, thank goodness. It did get a lot harder when I was trying to sew on the dome cap. Now that we're done with all of the sewing, it's time to cut the remaining parts of the dome cap. So Do that, don't cut the lace, make sure that you also don't cut where you were sewing, and you should be good after that. Now for the final portion of this tutorial, I'm just going to be sewing on this really thick elastic band. This really helped lay everything down and make it more secure on my head. I've used thinner elastic bands in the past, but this honestly just holds everything together really nicely. It's a pretty easy process. I just went ahead and I sewed the elastic band on both sides of this, and yeah, it worked out. Okay, so let's get into the specs of this hair. This only took me a week to get, and I forgot that I didn't order a wig. This was gonna be wefts that I was gonna be sewing to this. So I was like, oh no, I have to sew another wig. It's not gonna end up well, because usually whenever I do make wigs, they suck. But this was actually a 360 lace frontal wig. So basically whenever they give it to you, the lace is already kind of made for you all around. All you have to do is sew in the wefts in the center of the hair, and that's pretty much it. It actually took me a lot less time than when I usually have to just make a closure or a frontal and then sew the wefts around it. But this was just a lot quicker. I used a lot less hair. I have a whole bundle left over. This was like the 26-inch bundle. So all I ended up using was one whole 30 and then like I think half of a 28. Then the 360 frontal part is alone 20 inches on its own. So for the unit, basically all of the wefts were 20 inches for the frontal, and then the rest of the wefts were 26, a 28, and then a 30. So this is really, really long hair. This is a Brazilian body wave. So everything is very wavy. I feel like whenever I wash this, it seems pretty true to the wave that it's already in. So I feel like it's not gonna change that much. Other wigs that I've gotten have been more curly, and then they've gotten to this texture before. So this seems pretty legit. I love the length of the hair. It's super long, and it actually wasn't hard to sew together as I expected it to be. I was kind of thinking that it would be really difficult to sew all of that hair onto the hairnet, and I was like, it's not gonna work, but it actually ended up doing really well. It does come with a wig cap in here. Yeah, and I also had an elastic band that I hadn't used before, so I went ahead and I just sewed this in the back of it, and so everything is very secure. With the baby hairs, I definitely had to go in and cut some, so it's not super realistic in the front. What I did like though was that they didn't put too much hair at the frontal, I guess, so they left it pretty thin, which is more natural looking, rather than putting a bunch of hair on it and it looks really wiggish, you know? So on the website, it does say that you can dye this hair whatever color you desire to, so it is bleachable. So for mine, the knots look more transparent, so I might actually go in and try to bleach it myself soon, but right now it doesn't look bad at all. I just love how flat at the top of my head looks right now. They honestly did a really good job on the lace frontal. I didn't have to really put any clips in my hair, which I usually do with my other wigs, but the elastic band honestly really helped. I used a thicker one this time around, so if you're gonna use an elastic band on a wig that you make yourself, I would suggest getting one that is thicker in size. So will I be bleaching or dyeing this hair? Probably not. I do like it in its natural color. For me, this kind of just fits for me. In the future, I'm probably going to be getting wigs that are already dyed or bleached if they come that way. I'd rather not go through it myself, but if I really want to for a video for you guys in the future, and if you want me to show you the dyeing process, I will go ahead and do that, because I want to change things up a little bit with these hair videos. And I'm doing so many of these because my trip is coming up soon, and I need to produce more hair videos to be able to save up more for this. So that's why you're seeing so many at this point in time. I used only about 1.5 out of the 3 that I got, so it really wasn't that much. But there still is a lot of hair. I would say that this is pretty close to 150% for the density. So I will say that the hair is extremely soft. I know I'm gonna be able to straighten this without a problem. I do wanna see how this hair looks straight, especially with the middle part, but it does come with other parting spaces. Okay, so for the lengths that I got, everything is gonna be around $317 US dollars. For the lens for a 30-inch, I feel like that's not that bad. It is more on the expensive side. If you wanna save your money, I would definitely go for a shorter length, which would, if you get the longest length to be 24 inches, the price would be $211 US. So that's actually not that bad for the length that you're getting. If you want your hair to be at least 20 inches, like the longest weft that you're getting, it's gonna be $170.50. So it really depends on what you want as far as your length goes. But if you want super, super long hair like me at this point, it's gonna be around $317. The waves are really, really nice. I'm loving it. Yeah, so I think in the future, whenever I am making wigs, I will probably opt for a 360 lace frontal because it is the fastest and easiest way for me to go ahead and sew it. As you guys could see in the tutorial portion of this video, I wasn't struggling as much as I usually do. Whenever I run my fingers through it, I don't get hair coming out. It's just like, oh, I've seen a few pieces of hair here and there, but it's nothing that's major. And I have been combing this hair a lot, putting my fingers through it. But yeah, would I get this again? Probably so. I think I do want to experiment more with 360 lace wigs, as I said before. I think I could do more with those. Okay, so I think that's it for the video, you guys. I don't really have much else to say about the hair. I finished the tutorial and the review. If you guys are interested in purchasing the wig, I'm gonna go ahead and put the links down below to the bundles. Also, if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. And remember to click the notification bell down below if you want to see more of my updates. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.